العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. I start with the apology from Sheikh Yusuf. I think he just came from overseas probably a few days back, and I think he attended the Jummah today, but after the Jummah he probably fell sick again, so that's why he couldn't make up to the lecture. And as usual, I've been notified at the very last minute after the Maghrib. So, and I'm just a student who learning Islam, so I'm not always prepared to give like lectures like Sheikh is. But inshallah ta'ala, I managed to get something that that could be beneficial for myself and of course for yourself too, inshallah ta'ala. So what we do usually on Saturday morning, as people who come to the Fajr, they know that we do journey through Quran. And recently, like 2 weeks back, we finished Surah An-Nisa, and inshallah ta'ala tomorrow morning we have a quiz on Surah An-Nisa also. After that last week, we said because the Ramadan is coming, so we are not doing any more big surah. We are not going into Surah Al-Ma'idah because we can't finish it just in 4 weeks time or 4 to 5 weeks time before Ramadan. So last week we took a short surah from the back of the Quran, which is Surah Al-Maun, and we talked about the surah. What is the 7 verses of the surah, the 7 ayah of the Surah Al-Maun? What does it mean? The literary, the structure of the surah, and the meaning of the surah, the context of the surah, all these things we discussed. So today also, just like the last Saturday, I brought 2 short surah because we have a little bit more time than the Fajr. I hope we can finish it up probably half an hour, inshallah ta'ala. So 2 very short surah today. I will talk about the surah, some hadith regarding the surahs, and some literary meaning of the surah. Obviously, these 2 surah are very well known to you, all of you, and I believe every one of you memorized these 2 surah. And these are the 2 surah, Surah Al-Falak and Surah Naas, the last 2 surah of the Quran, surah number 113 and 114. So we'll talk about these 2 surah, what are the similarities, why the surah is placed at the end of the Musaf, and why they are called Al-Mu'azzitain, all these things that we'll try to understand. So obviously this is not a tafsir, just try to see some quick meanings of the surah, because these surahs we recite every day probably in our sunnah prayer, in our regular first prayer, where in a rush we always do this one, and these are the surah that our kids also know. So if we learn something from today's lecture, maybe we can benefit ourselves, and in future we can sit down with our family and friends and you can talk about why this is what Surah Al-Falak says, this is the word means in Surah Al-Falak. So this is how my intention is to do these 2 surahs as soon as short as possible in half an hour time. So let's begin with these 2 surah. These 2 surah, as I said, they are the last 2 surah of the Quran, and both of the surah start with Qul A'udhu, meaning I seek refuge. We'll go into the meaning a little later. First look at these 2 surah, and according to the most of the Mufassirun, the scholar, these 2 surah was revealed. Some groups say that they are revealed in Medina. Why? Because they said in Medinan time Rasulullah had a lot of enemy, especially from the Jewish people. And one of the group of Jewish people, they come to a guy, his name was Labid bin Asim. Labid bin Asim, he was a very famous magician or sorcerer. So he used to do black magic and everything. So they come to him and they said, this prophet who's claiming his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is he's doing too much to us. He's already eradicated some of our tribes from this land. So we know that you are a very good magician. We'll give you money and everything. So do something that can harm him. And according to that narration, he has some students. That guy Labid ibn Asim said his own daughters are also very good magician in this kind of field. So he took help from them also. So all together they come up with something. They went to one of the slave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah had a Jewish boy. He was a slave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they steal a comb from them, from the servant, and from the comb they got some hair, and with the hair they did some black magic. And as we know from a lot of narration that this magic has effect on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now you can say that why, because he's Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why magic is affecting him. That's fine, because he is at the end, he is a human being, and Allah has given him a lot of things in his life to teach us that this can happen to us, and this kind of calamity can come to your life. Allah could have saved all Rasulullah children, but in his own life he lost almost 6 children in his lifetime. Imagine if one of our child got hurt or is having an operation or something, how would you feel? Forget about dying. And he is, I know, sometimes we don't realize these things. He was a father also. Those are his children. But he has to go through the suffering. Allah could have saved them, like Allah saved them, the children of Abu Bakr, children of Ali, all they were saved. They had a good life, normal life, but not for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he has to face the trial of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and still he is being the best abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So like this way, so these magics had effect, and there's explicit hadith in Bukhari where Rasulullah said to Aisha radhiallahu anha that I saw in a dream that and the effect was like he used to feel dizzy during the daytime. Sometimes he used to forget what he did before in the morning. So this kind of effect was because of this magic. And in the dream he saw 2 angels. Rasulullah saw 2 angels in his dream, and the angels were talking to each other. One of the angels said, what happened to him? What happened to Rasulullah? The other angel is answering that someone has done black magic on him. And the other angel said, okay, so what should he do now? Then the angel say he should recite these 2 surah. So then they recited the surah. So in the dream, Rasulullah got this wahi. Now this is one group, one interpretation that that's why they're saying this 2 surah probably in the time of the life of Medina, because that's what it happened. But some people say the incident happened in Medina, but this 2 surah was revealed in Makkah. Because they're the short surah, and most of the short, they're the literary pattern, the way this rhythmic, the most of the Makkin surah, if you read the Juz Amma, most of the Makki surah has a lot of rhythm inside it, like Kul a'udhu bil falak min sharri ma khalaq, one line is matching with the other one, and they're short ayahs. So there some group scholars say no, this 2 surah was in Makkah, but in the dream Allah reminded Rasulullah that this surah that I revealed to you before, if you recite this 2 surah, then you will get rid of this magic. And it is said in the narration that those black magician, the guy and his daughter, they had 11 knots. So they make some knot or something like this, and that's why that's mentioned in the surah also. They had 11 knots, and they put this knot together in a piece of cloth or something, and they drop it in a well. In a deep well nearby to the Medina. So in the dream, the angel told Rasulullah everything, that where to go, how to find this knot. And the 2 surah, if you look, there are 11 ayah according to this, both the surah together, 5 and 6, to total 11, 6 and 5. So 11 ayah together. And each of the time Rasulullah instructed the Sahaba, when you go recite one verse, they say Kul a'udhu bil falak, you take one knot out. Then min sharri ma khalaq, you take the another one out. So like this 11 are not been taken out with the 11 ayah. So that's one of the things that mentioned in that narration. So these are the story of this 2 surah. But as I said, it could be in Makkah, it could be in Medina. But the majority of the people say, like even if you open up your iPhone app, where the iQuran or something, if you see where it's revealed, most of the places is Makkah. This is a Makki surah. But as I say, some scholars say this could be in Medina. Whatever is the case. So now let's go to the surah and have a look at this. Both surah, as you can see the pattern of the surah, that they have some matching things. The first thing that I am to mention, that what the total meaning of the surah. The Surah Al-Falak, Allah saying Kul a'udhu bi rabbil falak. So I seek refuge from the Lord of the Falak. What is Falak? We'll talk about the daybreak. Daybreak is just a normal translation, it's not the right thing to say. The Falak has a lot of other meaning in Arabic language. So we are seeking refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from all these things. Min sharri ma khalaq, min sharri ghasikin, min sharri naffasati, min sharri hasad. So all these 4 things are different. So in Arabic language, just to remember, one thing is called musta'az bihi. Musta'az means comes from istiaza. Istiaza means saying a'udhu billah. In Surah Al-Nahl, Allah said, whenever you recite Quran, you must do istiaza. Istiaza means saying a'udhu billah, like seeking Allah's refuge. So musta'az bihi means the one you are asking refuge from. In this case is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And musta'az minhu means the things that you are seeking refuge for. In Surah Al-Falaq, we are only calling Allah once. We are calling Allah Kul a'udhu bi rabbil falak. The Rabb of the Falak. Simple, Rabb of the Falak. Then we are asking, okay, oh Allah, oh the Lord of the Falak, give us refuge from these things. 4 things we are asking. On the other hand, in Surah Naas, we are asking Allah 3 times. Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. Then we say min sharril waswasil khannas. That's only one thing. Then the last 2 ayah is the explanation of what is khannas, what is waswasa means. So only one time. Even if you count the time, the shar in Arabic language is mean that something bad, something evil. So here Allah said 3 times. Min sharri, min sharri falak, min sharri ghasikin idha waqab, min sharri naffasati fil uqad, min sharri hasid. 4 times shar. In Surah Naas, only 1 time shar, but Allah's name is mentioned 3 times. Why it is that? Because this here in Surah Falak, all the 4 things that Allah is talking about here, these are external things. You don't have control over all these things. So Allah is saying, min sharri ma khalaq, the evil of all the creation. So you can't control the evil of other things. For example, snake is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And snake can do harm to you, but you don't have any control. It's his nature. If you see it, and it try to bite you. Same thing like any other animals or something like this. You don't have any control over this one. Then Allah says, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. So what is ghasaq means? The darkness of the night. Do you have control over darkness over night? And as you know that the most of the bad things happen at night. Even today, the Friday night is today. A lot of bad things is happening outside today, right? As we all know. So the night is referred to even in other literature. Whenever you talk about evil is associated with darkness and especially with night. Then Allah says, وَمِن شَرِّ نَفَّاسَةِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. Naffasati here means the group of people who make who make the black magic or something. You don't have any control over those things. So all these 4 things are external things that you don't have any control. That's why we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once here. Because Allah can save us from all these things. But on the other hand, in the Surah Naas, we are calling, Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasil khannas. Waswas means, as you all know, whispering of the shaitan. And when shaitan gives you waswasa, do you have control on that? Of course you have control on that. Before I come to the mosque, to the prayer, if shaitan give me waswas, okay, don't worry about the Isha prayer today. You can pray at home at night, Let's go to somewhere like a movie or something. That's the waswasa from shaitan. If I had listened to him, is shaitan to blame or I am to blame? I am to blame. Allah will ask me. Shaitan jobs, even in the day of judgment, as you know the story of shaitan, right? What shaitan is going to say? All the people who are going to Jahannam, they will blame shaitan. You are the one who take us to this path. You are the one who told us to do all these bad things. And now you are going, the shaitan says, no. I haven't done anything. I just give you the token and you accepted it. I just give you the call and you pick up the call. That's what I did. And that's why the waswas of shaitan is much greater harm than these things. And that's why we are more desperate in Surah Naas. That's why we are calling Allah so many times. Oh Allah, the Rabb bin Nas, you are the Rabb of the Nas, you are the Malik of the Nas, you are the Ilah of the Nas. So that's the desperation in Surah Nas. Another thing here in Surah Falak, it says, min sharri ma khalaq. Khalaq means everything. So if you see the 4 things, it starts from the bigger things and coming down to the smaller things. So min sharri ma khalaq means all the khalaq, means anything that can be created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make some harmful things to you. Then Allah says, there is no min sharri ghasiqin idha waqab. Idha waqab, as I said, the darkness of the night. So it's not all the night, like some nights could be dark to you. So out of all the creation, one group of creation that's nurtured in the darkness of the night can be bad to you. Then Allah saying, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاسَةِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. This is a specific group of people. So first, all the creation. Then the night of the world. Then Allah saying a group of people who do black magics. And then Allah saying, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. The last thing is the jealousy. So that is coming from the bigger picture to coming to the smaller picture. And what is the main thing here? The hasad, there is the last thing. Hasad means jealousy. And if you come back to the shaitan story again, a lot of times we think that, shaitan didn't do, listen to Allah's command. What did Allah told shaitan? To do sujood to Adam alayhi salam. So he disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why did he disobey? A lot of people answered because he was arrogant. Which is right. But if you think properly, if you properly think, it's not only arrogance. It was his jealousy towards Adam. Arrogance is different things. If I have been boastful, okay, I have a BMW car, for example, okay. So nobody has a BMW. I only have it. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else, but I'm just proud of myself. Okay, look, I've got a BMW, nobody has. That's called arrogance. But when you compare yourself to other people, like look, he's got this red car, but I am my black one. Mine is better than him. His one is worse than me. Or the other way around, how come he got so much money? How come I do the same job, I don't get the money? That's called jealousy. So you want something that someone else has to compare. And that's what Shaitan did actually. Shaitan said, how can I do sujood to Adam? He's just made of the tin, and I am made of the fire. So I cannot do this. So that jealousy was there. And also, as I said before, the surah name, Surah Falak, the Falak means that, whatever it comes out, reap apart. So here the daybreak means basically that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that, when the day, the Fajr happens, the night goes away and the Fajr tears through the darkness of the night. And some of the scholars say it's not only the daybreak. Anything of the creation comes out as the same way, as a Falak. If you think of a small seed, how does the small seed comes out of the ground? It tears apart from the seed, and even the smallest, the microbiologic, microscopic animals like a bacteria, virus, even if you look at them under the microscope, how they produce themselves, just a tear open. Even the human being, any other animal, the way the birth is happening, that is the falak, the way that is tearing apart and coming to the world. And why? One scholar mentioned, because the surah before this one was, which surah before Falak? Anybody knows the surah before Falak? It's very simple. The surah before Falak. Surah Ikhlas, yes. What did Allah say there? Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahus samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad. Allah talks about the birth, that Allah doesn't give birth, and He's not from anywhere, He doesn't beget, and He's not begotten. Okay? And that's why Allah is saying in this surah that I am the owner, I am the Rabb of the Falak, the Rabb of the birth, basically here, that tears apart. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these are the external things that you should take refuge from. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finishes up with the, as I mentioned, the hasad, and then we will see that how this hasad is connected to the next surah, the Surah Naas. So let's go to the next surah. As I mentioned before, that here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. And by saying Qul, Allah just could say just without the Qul. Allah, there are a lot of surah, most of the surah, that has Qul. It means that Allah is giving Rasulullah a command. And by giving Rasulullah a command basically means that He's giving as a command. And when you saying this surah, you are obeying a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by reciting this surah, when you say Qul huwallahu ahad, or Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, all this surah, when you listen and you recite, basically you are listening to, because Allah is saying say. Qul means say. And you are doing that thing. So by doing this, you are accepting the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also here, the same word a'udhu, as I mentioned before, a'udhu means, as I said, seeking refuge. And basically it means that I have no power to seek refuge, that's why I am submit to myself. So meaning that you are in a state that you are accepting the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you are seeking refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So without the acceptance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is hard to get that your dua will be accepted, meaning the thing that you are asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't have the intention to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you won't get it. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. Now the three names here, the Malik, and then Allah say, the first one is Rabb, then the Malik, and then Ilah. These three things. These three names is mentioned for another person in the Quran. And he is the next, as you can say, if Shaitan is our worst enemy, and the most manifestation of Shaitan in this world is Pharaoh. As we all know that he is the worst person ever in the world. So if you rank Shaitan in the top, he will be in the second, right? And if you read through the Quran, the Pharaoh in his description, in his story in the Quran, he said, use all these three words. He said, فَقَالَ أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْعَالَى, in Surah Al-Naziyah. He said, I am the Lord, I am the Rabb of all of you. He declared himself as Lord. In Surah Al-Zukhruf, he said, أَلَيْسَ مِنْ لِي مُلْكُ الْمِصْرَ, meaning أَلَيْسَ لِي مُلْكُ الْمِصْرَ, meaning I am the mulk, I am the Malik, I am the owner of the Misra, means the Egypt. and all the rivers and everything flowing in the Egypt is under me. So he used the same name, the Malik also over there. Also he said in another surah, Surah Al-Qasas, he said to his ministers, Ya ayyuhal malak, am I not? I don't see any other ilah than me for you. So he used all these three things in his name to claim this. By this, one of the scholars say, why he mentioned this one? Because in our time, there is no one like Pharaoh that claims that I am the Lord. Nobody is that idiot or stupid that calls that I am the Lord of the world. Nobody will say that. But every person, when Shaitan gives waswasa to you, his main intention to create these three things inside you. To think that you think that you are the Lord of yourself, not the whole world. So you become the Rabb of yourself, and you think, okay, I can do whatever I wish to do. That's the main intention of Shaitan. That you are not a servant of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala anymore. As one of the scholars said, it's very easy to say that Allah is the Lord of the world. It's easy to say, but it's very difficult to think that you are the real slave of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Shaitan's job is to give you some kind of indication, some kind of desire in your heart, some kind of arrogance in your heart, so that you think that okay, you can do the things. You don't submit everything to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. He takes Islam from you slowly but surely. Slowly, this is the way He took. That's why Allah mentioned these three names here, because Allah could have said, "Kul a'udhu birabbil falak," or "Kul a'udhu birabbin nas." That should be enough, because Allah didn't mention the Malik and the other names. But because Allah is talking about the shaitan in this surah, that's what Allah mentioned all these three names. Now, one thing as a min sharri waswasa. The word waswasa is something that we need to understand. In Arabic morphology, it's called sarf. If a word sounds like twice, it means also twice. Like another word like zilzala or zalzala. What does zalzala means? The earthquake, the shaking. Okay, it happening. One shake, two shakes, same shake. Waswasa means it's not whispering one time. Waswasa means waswasa. That shaitan is continuously giving waswasa. The word itself is like this. There is the Arabic structure of the word. It is such a word that it gives you the picture that shaitan will give you waswasa every time. And then Allah said, what is this shaitan do? Min sharri waswasil khannas. Allah didn't call him a shaitan here. Allah called him as Khannas. And this word Khannas also means, the root word is, there's another surah in Juz Amma, it says, in the surah Taqwir, it says, the Khunnas, Al-Jawari Khunnas. So that means, Khunnas here means, the twinkling of light, that the light comes and goes away. For Shaitan, the Khannas here means, he comes up to you, when you remember Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, he takes step back. So khunnas basically means step back. So he comes to you, he gives you some waswasa. Then you say, astaghfirullah, auzubillah, I don't want to do this. Something in your mind, okay? So he just went back, step back again. But again, he wait for the opportunity and come back to you and give you waswasa. That's why Allah didn't use the word shaitan here. Allah used the khannas because that is his nature. He's going to come and do the same thing continuously, one after another thing. Then Allah says, alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas. So Allazi here is the one who give you in your sudur, in nas, meaning the chest. Now there is two words in Arabic, and you know this word, I know that one is qulub. What does qulub means in English? Anybody knows? Qulub means? Heart. Yes, very simple. And sudur means chest. So what is the difference? Why did Allah say qulub here? Why is sudur here? The sudur basically, to give an example, suppose you have your house, right? Your house is your heart, suppose. Beside, in front of your house and back of your house, you have some room, the backyard or front here, right? Suppose that area is fetch, like we have the fetch around the masjid, right? That area you can think as a chest. So the qulub is in the chest, and the sudur is in the area. So shaitan is in the, if you think like the house example, he is sometime in your backyard or in the front here. He is not in your house. Shaitan doesn't go straight into your heart. But if you open the door of your qulub, and tell him to come inside, then he will come inside. And once he's come inside your qulub, he will try to change the things inside your heart. The things that you didn't like before, when you have iman, when you have the taqwa, now those things will be coming, disgusting to you. And the things that was bad for the people, that was very disgusting to you before, it will look beautiful to you. That's the job of the shaitan. So he is in the sudur, he is always waiting for you. Sometimes if you give him chance, he will go inside and put something. And yes, if you do repentance, if you say, oh Allah, I did by mistake, I'm sorry, I come back, and you change back again, he will come out of the house again. But he is always waiting in the backyard of the fourth year. That is his job. And he is always there. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's a clear enemy. He is our clear enemy. He's always there. So you can never ever think that, now I have done so much of research, I have done so much of study of Islam, and I've been doing my prayer since I was childhood, so inshallah the shaitan can never touch me. Never ever think that, my brother. Shaitan can come anytime. If you give a little chance, it comes. If you know the story of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he was a great scholar, as you all know, he's one of the four imam. And he has done so many great work for the ummah. And he fight for the ummah. In his life he's written so many books and everything. And when he was in his deathbed, his son was beside him. He was in his deathbed and he was like unconscious. He was talking unconsciously. And he was saying in that no, not now, not yet. So his elder son was saying, what's wrong, my father? Why are you saying not now? I haven't done, I don't know what does it mean. He's saying, shaitan came to me now, and shaitan is telling, oh Ahmed, you have done great job in your life. So are you proud now? So he is giving him, he's trying to pampering him and make him boastful, make him arrogant. And Ahmed ibn Hanbal knew that if you become arrogant, if you feel like, yes, I have done a lot of things, all his amal could be go in vain. So he is saying he understood, because Allah gave him the knowledge, so he understood that shaitan is trying his last chance to do something with Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, but Allah saved him from that one. So that's why shaitan is always there to attack you. And the last thing Allah said, min al-jinnati wan nas. Now about this ayah, min al-jinnati wan nas, there's two kinds of interpretation. One of the interpretation, the common one is saying, as it says that, from among the jinn and mankind. So the shaitan who give you waswasa, this shaitan, this kind of waswasa, this kind of whispering can also come from a jinn or from man. Meaning, it's not only shaitan. If you have a friend who always comes to you, and tell me, okay, brother, why are you going to the masjid so many times? It's wastage of time, let's enjoy the life, this is the time, all this bad thing that you're trying to, take you away from the path of Islam, that is also waswasa from the man. And it's also can be from the jinn. That is one interpretation, that this kind of waswasa is not from the shaitan. Shaitan can come in the form of your friend. Like the phone call you're picking up is from your friend. He's talking, you're not hearing shaitan, but it's from the shaitan that he can mislead you and he can take sound. That's one interpretation. Other interpretation, some scholars say no. Min al-jinnati wan nas here means that this waswasa can affect man and jinn also. Because we know there are good jinn. Jinn doesn't mean that all jinns are bad. As we all know that there are Muslim jinns. They came when Islam was in his lifetime. The jinn came to him one night and they listened to the Quran and they accepted Islam. They became Muslim. And we have an explicit hadith in Bukhari and Muslim that Rasulullah explained how they came and became Muslim. So we have Muslim jinns. So it could mean also this way that some of the scholars say, no, the shaitan is still the same shaitan here, the khannas, but he could give this waswasa from people, from mankind and from jinn also. So it's not affected not only mankind, even jinn can be affected, the good jinns can be affected by the shaitan. So this is how the two surah ends. The last thing I just mentioned today, that this surah Naas, as this is the end surah of the Quran, but this is the sunnah of Rasulullah. Whenever he used to recite Surah Naas, or whenever he used to finish the whole Quran, during his lifetime, he never stopped in Surah Naas. As soon as he finished Surah Naas, he went to Surah Al-Fatiha, as if the Quran is never finished. So that was his sunnah, that he used to go and recite the Surah Al-Fatiha. And that's why, because of this hadith, some of the scholars also try to find similarities. What is the relationship between Nas and Fatiha? And as you can all know that even in Fatiha we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And here Allah says, Kul a'udhu bi rabbil. The same name Rabb is mentioned in the Fatiha also. The next one we say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, because Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim is not mentioned here because here we are asking Allah's protection, not Allah's Rahman. So we didn't mention Ar-Rahman, but we say Malik Yawmuddin. And also we say Iyyaka na'budu. Iyyaka na'budu means what? We accept your worship. We became your slave. And we became your slave. Ubudu comes from the ilaha. You became slave of to the ilaha, the one ilaha that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these three names is also attached to that one. And some scholars also say, by asking this protection, this is the way. If you seek refuge from shaitan, from his waswasa, that is the main goal. And that is the main, our jihad with the shaitan. Once you can do this, every time you do this, you are in the Siratul Mustaqim. If you can fight the shaitan by seeking refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you are in the path of Siratul Mustaqim. And that's why the Surah Ikhlas, that the Surah before Surah Falak and Naas, that Surah is about Tawheed, that you all know. The Surah Ikhlas talks about Qul Hu Allah. Allah is saying, Allah is Ahad, Allahus Samad. Allah is no one like Allah. That Surah is completely dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about His definition. What is He? Basically, that's the Ikhlas. And that's why one of the name of Surah Ikhlas is Surah Samad or Surah Ahad. Some of the Surah Ahad, because there's the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is our Tawheed. And to protect the Tawheed, Allah sent two protections, Falak and Naas. Falak will protect you from the external things, and Naas will protect you from the internal thing that the shaitan knows, that no one else knows. Only you knows that whatever waswas are coming to you, and you are the only one who seeks refuge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah ta'ala we'll finish it here, and Jazakallahu khairan. I wish that we have a bit more time, but it's almost 8:30 now.